It's almost Halloween, and that means I need your help. This is going to be a really important couple weeks because during the episode that airs on the week of Halloween, I'm going to be in costume, and I need you, the listener and viewers of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com, to help me decide what that costume will be. Ideally, it'd be something presentable and flattering, but I'm open to any and all ideas. Of course, the more Notre Dame themed, the better. So we're counting on you to jump in the YouTube comments and give us your best ideas for what I should wear on the Halloween edition of Wake Up the Echoes. I'm open to anything, but we got to hear you in the comments. We've been getting a lot of feedback on our idea for what we should name the listeners, taking everything under advisement, still kind of workshopping what we will be calling you going forward. But we're open to the same thing for Halloween costumes. I need that from you on this week's episode. It was a great episode. We always talk to the coach, Marcus Freeman. This week, he brought the old man of the group, Jack Kiser, along for the ride. It was great to talk to Jack again. We had one of my favorite segments all time on this show when we had a draft with Jack and Isaiah Dunn. We drafted all things Notre Dame. And again, in the comments, if you want to let us know who you think won, I think you'll be a little bit surprised by where our rosters ended up, but it was a really fun draft with him. And then finally, at the end, we talked to Audric Estimé, of course, making his first year in the NFL with the Broncos. Got on the field yesterday and has really been looking sharp in Denver. So it's a great show as always. Let me know what you want me to wear in a couple of weeks on Wake Up the Echoes. But for now, let's talk to Coach Freeman and Jack Kiser. All right, Coach, good to see you again. You brought, I believe, someone you referred to when we were off camera last week. It's okay, like the old guy in the room.
The veteran.
The veteran, I like that. The
He's
veteran.
Experienced.
Are you feeling like you've been here forever at this point? Like, what does it feel like when you walk around campus right now?
Yeah, it's pretty nice just to walk around campus and not have like the stresses of academics on your mind all the time. But we were joking in the locker room. I've spent a quarter of my life here at Notre Dame. I'm 24 and 6 years have been spent here. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Other than Denbrock, you've probably been here longer than every coach.
Tenure-wise, yeah.
Every coach on staff.
I think I had a source tell me, is he the only member left on the team, or at least on defense, that was here when you were DC and linebackers coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the only guy on our team that I actually coached as a linebacker.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
2021 OG, that first year. What's that group mean to you? Because we talked about, it's the 1 year you weren't the head coach here, and there's that different bond. So to still have him, one last run with him, what does it mean to have him here?
It's special. It's special, man. We were just talking about it before we started. That room, that group, J.D. Bertrand, Drew White, Maris Leofau, Bo Bauer, some of those guys, man, those are special, special guys that, you spend such intimate time together. Like the things that go on in a position meeting room, everybody thinks it's just football, but you spend so much time together. It can't just be all ball. And, Jack's able to help some of those younger guys. Maybe if I give them a look or say something, be like, hey guys, he's fine. Don't take it too serious.
You're the Freeman translator.
That's right.
Yeah, a little bit. Exactly. Yeah.
What does it come to mind when you think about 2021, the year he was DC? Like, what do you think about when you think about Coach Freeman, the defensive coordinator, not the head coach?
Yeah, the one thing I think Coach Freeman's done a really good job being the head coach is he hasn't changed who he is, right? He's still the same person walking around the building to me. It's just, I'm not in the meeting room every day with him and getting X and O's coaching tips, but he's still Coach Free. So I don't think that's changed any. Obviously, the amount he screamed at me and yelled at me on the field has changed a little bit since 2021.
It's secret.
Yeah. So.
I always thought we talked last year, linebackers still got it the same.
Yeah, he's still floating around our individual drills. He can't get
I'm around. I let Coach Bullock coach the linebackers, but
every once in a while he'll be like, hey, maybe do a little
hey, come on.
Has he ever flipped on the Ohio State film from the late 2000s?
That's Laurinaitis. That's Laurinaitis.
Oh, okay.
That's Laurinaitis.
We did get to see some. Coach Laurinaitis, when he was here, did put on some film of Coach Free and him going at it.
Oh, he did?
The glory days.
To make himself feel better. James feel better about it.
What did you take away from that film?
Oh,
how bad their stance was. Good Lord.
Were you a neck roll guy? Was there neck rolls?
No. There was, but I wasn't.
You weren't? No. Okay. What's it feel like to be in that linebacker room now? Do you feel, when I talk to older athletes and there's the young guys, how old's Kingston? In true, is he 18? Okay,
yeah.
so what's he doing that's making you feel old? Like, are there certain things they're talking about? Music interests? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, music, it's funny. Like, today there was a song come on, and I was like, Kingston, how old were you when this song came on? Like, I can remember the song in, like, middle school, and he's like, I would have been, like, first or second grade or something like that. Cartoons, like, we brought up cartoons that we watched, and it's like, I've never even heard of that. Like, it's so different. But at the same time, like, we're still, on the same team and going through the same workouts and everything. And so it's not like I feel super old, but there's a difference for sure.
Do you find that it can keep you young a little bit too? Because I think when I talk to coaches, I mean, to me, if I were to look at the most fun part about being around a team, it would seem that it keeps you young. It keeps you feeling like you're young, even as you get older. Like, do you get that sense that I might be getting to be the older guy, but at least I feel like I'm still one of the young guys?
Yeah, it's funny. Last year with JD and Maris all three of us being fifth years, and I could just hang out with them. Like, we're all super mature. And now I'm hanging out with the 18-year-olds, and like, it's funny. You kind of see yourself drifting and becoming more like them, and making jokes with them, and laughing in the locker room and stuff. So it is definitely a different, environment. But it's a lot of fun.
How do you coach guys? I don't want to say differently, but maybe you do, based on age. Because I've talked to you about whether you're the position coach or the head coach, you have to maybe modify the way you approach things. But I would imagine an 18-year-old needs to be talked to or instructed different than a 24-year-old. What's the biggest difference for you?
That's I guess that's a general maybe thought, but every individual is different, right? And there can be 24-year-olds that are probably more immature than 18-year-olds.
Okay.
But like Kingston, he's got a 24-year-old spirit, right? And but I think as coaches, you have to know what is gonna get the results you want. If this young person doesn't handle you yelling and screaming, well, he shuts down. Then why are you yelling and screaming? You're making yourself feel better, but you're not helping the kid.
Okay,
right? A guy like Jack, I could yell and scream it all the time, and he's gonna, gotcha. I mean, it won't affect him. And so sometimes you use a guy like Jack to get a message maybe to a younger guy that can't take that type of coaching to get a point across. But I think as a coach, you have to know how every individual will respond and coach them in a specific way.
So how do you process that? Like, when he says he might be using you to get a message to someone else, how are you able to go, okay, I know what coach is doing here. He's approaching me a certain way, and maybe it doesn't feel the best, but it's for the better good of the team. How do you identify?
I think I'm able to take that kind of coaching because I did have him as a linebacker coach. Okay. Like, I had him in a room. I had him giving me the compliments, but also tell me where I need to do better, the criticism, right? And so I respect that. And I also, I feed off being challenged by Coach Free. Okay. Like, that's just my mentality. Like, all right, like, that's a challenge to me. He's giving me something, like, I got to go fix it. And so, yeah, it might be for someone else, but there is some of that that's for me. Mm-hmm. And so I got to address that and move forward with that.
Okay. I've got some Notre Dame trivia for you guys.
I think I got him.
No.
I think I got him.
Oh my gosh.
It's. I think you guys will both have a good chance here. And quite frankly, I'm asking you the question. I'm going to need a refresher off camera here. But do you know who's played the most games in the history of Notre Dame football?
I'm going to go with Kurt Hinish.
Kurt Hinish.
Yeah.
Correct.
I would have said Kurt Hinish if he didn't say Kurt.
Okay, so you had it. Coach got it, just for the record here.
I was here when he broke the record.
Yeah.
That's why.
I was here with him 2 years. So
was that your DC?
DC.
Okay. Yeah. So you're on pace to break that record. Did you know that? Really?
For games played in?
Games played. At the end of the season.
I mean, it makes sense. I've been here a long time.
When you think about that, you
how many? So he has to just play every game.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, but you'll blow it out of the water. I believe you're right now at 57. So you're gonna. Or maybe
what's the number?
The number is 61.
See, listen. Here's where I control that, though.
Oh,
you know what I mean. So if you don't practice well, right? I'm just gonna say, hey, hold him out.
We could make some real headlines. Jack Kiser being held out to preserve Kurt Hinish's all-time record.
I don't think we'll have that problem with me causing any trouble.
Hold up. Flag on the play. I'm calling it on myself. I'm incorrect. 61 games played from Kurt Hinish and Josh Lugg is good for second all-time in Notre Dame history. The all-time leader in games played is Houston Griffith. So I'm calling myself, Coach Freeman, and Jack Kiser out. We were all incorrect. Also, for the record, Jack has played 59 games in his career. The one spot that I was correct in is that he is on pace to break the all-time record. If you leave here having played more, you said a quarter of your life at Notre Dame, and then you've played more games in history than anybody else, what's that going to mean to you? Because there's been a lot of good players that have played here.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Kurt, right? So I got to see kind of what he brought, to the field every single day. And you just think about all the great players, like you mentioned, and to know you put on the golden helmet more than anybody else, like that is a special, kind of thing to have, and to, tip your hat on. So that is cool. Hopefully, everything goes well, and that can be something I can, have in my back pocket one day.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. I mean, you played the position, but you know what this place means. Like, for him to do that, what would that mean to you?
I mean, it's just Kurt Hinish is a great representation of who you want to have that record, but Jack Kiser would be an unbelievable representation, just because it just tells you a lot. One, a guy that redshirted, right? He redshirted. He's a guy that played some, in his second year and just continued to get better and better and become a starter. And then he had a decision: do I want to go to pro? Do I want to come back? And he decided to come back. He's a great leader. He's a captain. I couldn't think of a better guy to represent that record.
I was just thinking about this as you're saying that, because a lot of these records are being broken in part because of the COVID year.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go, man, this guy has all these stats, and it's like, he got to play next year. But then I try to think back to the COVID year and how challenging it was. You weren't here yet. Yep. You were here.
Yeah.
When you think back, like getting through that year, how tough was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, the team was split between locker rooms. You could only have 10 people in a lift. You could only have so many people in a meeting room. Practices were just different, right?
What was
games? Like half the team was in the stadium, half the team was in the Goog, and then you had rotations because you could only have so many people in the locker room at a time.
Yeah.
Some games didn't have anybody. Other games had just the students. And parents. But it was a really fun and unique year of football because it was the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right. Like we came so close that year just because we had to. It was us. We were in a bubble, and that was our world. That was our life. And so it was really fun. But it's different, nowadays. Like most people, I think me and Riley and Howard are really the only ones that were on the team.
Yeah.
During that bubble year, and so it's different. Like the young guys don't know what it was like.
Every year we get further away from it. I look back at the highlights from those games, like, man, there was nobody in that stadium. It's so weird. Let's talk documentary a little bit. I'm going to ask you about the big stuff in there about you in a second, but just now that it's been about halfway through the season, what's it been like to have the people following you guys, tracking your every move? Have you liked it? What's been your impression if you're come the Irish so far?
Honestly, I don't think they've gotten in the way too much at all, like if at any. Don't really notice them. Like I know them and their names and stuff just because, I had a personal kind of episode in there, and so I've gotten to know them. But other than that, like you really want to know they're there. Yeah, just like any other media person that we're in contact with daily.
Okay, so I want to start with Coach Freeman on this. So in the episode, we saw you get engaged. I want to ask all about that. But my understanding is you, Coach Freeman, were involved with helping him plan the engagement, or at least the execution on the day. Can you fill me in on your role in this whole process?
I took one for the team.
Okay.
Right? So basically, we did not want to announce that Jack was going to New York. All right. And so Jack and Katie really kind of put that together. Yeah. But then we're on the plane, and Jack's telling me, my girlfriend at the time is so mad at you. I was like, why? He's like, because you didn't bring me to New York. Like, we're on our way to New York, but he's like, because she thinks you didn't bring me to New York. And she was telling Jack, know that he knows that I live here. And how could he not bring you to New York? And I said, it's all worth it, man. I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
I'll take
So was she saying to you, because you guys are going out there for a media hit, right? I can't believe you came back for a 6th year and Coach Freeman's leaving you in South Bend while he knows I live here. Is that what it was?
Well, so a couple years ago, we did a trip to New York City, and I got to go on it. And so I was essentially telling her, I had my turn. Like, I'm not big into media. Like, I don't need to do that. And Coach Free knows that. He doesn't want to push me and put me in uncomfortable situations. She's like, no, you need to speak up for yourself. Like, this is important to you. Like, this is a big opportunity and stuff. So it was like I really had to, take a couple punches there, but it was good.
So she was legitimately shocked when you were there.
Yeah, she was frustrated. When I was there, yes. Yeah, she was super excited, and like you can see her expression on her face. Like she was very confused of what I was doing there.
Okay, so take me back to as you're planning to go through all this and pop the question, like where's the heart rate? What are the nerves like as you were getting ready to ask?
I mean, anybody who was in the bus with us and just around me could tell, like, I was nervous all day because I did it at sunset. And so I had to wait around all day. And the heart rate was just crazy. And then when I did go down on a knee, like, I could barely talk and get the words out. It was insane. Like, games are easy now. Like, there's no nerves there. That was nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but most people that have proposed to their wives, it is nerve-wracking now.
This is all I was doing all day. Because like you said, you can do it in the morning, but a lot of people wait for sunset. You might get some photos. You guys are on the bridge, right? Or you're in a spot where pier, yeah. And I was on a beach, so it's like I need to wait for the sun to be right here because I've got a photographer coming to snap the front. But you just got to wait and wait. I've never asked you. What is your? How did you propose to your wife?
We set up some things during the day to have her go get ready, whatever. But I was meeting her at a restaurant. She was already there. Yeah, I walked in and got on a knee. Like I wasn't going to try to sit at dinner and not be able to eat and have this on. I said, I walked in, got right on a knee, proposed and said, yes, we're good. All right, now let's enjoy it. So we enjoyed dinner and we went out and celebrated with friends. But it was like, how I want to get this over. So
yeah. You just want to get it over.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. Still engaged, right?
Still engaged.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What has anything changed in your life since that? I mean, what's the biggest change you've seen, or is it just you guys are getting ready for a wedding?
I think you can kind of start solidifying a vision of the future, right? Especially knowing this is last year at Notre Dame, like you can start putting plans into place. So that's really nice, and especially we've been doing distance for such a long time. It's nice to know there's an end in sight.
Have you had guys on the team like pick your brain about how you know when the right time is or this and that? Do those questions come up now?
Yeah, I've had a couple guys come up and ask me, what the process was. Like, when did you know?
Eli proposed after you?
He proposed before me.
Oh, did he?
But like I already had everything kind of in mind. But guys have come up and like, hey, like, how'd you go through the ring process? Like, how did you do all that? So it's been cool, like just understanding their stories and where they're at in life too.
To me, it goes back to what we were just saying about feeling young, being around a team.
Yeah.
That coach, like that's the best part about being on a team, right? It's those little things. These are huge life decisions, but you've got 100 guys you can bounce ideas off of, and that's why it's so special, isn't it?
He just put some pressure on some of his teammates that have long girlfriends.
No doubt.
I mean,
no doubt.
They're sitting there saying, "When's my turn?"
I came back to the locker room. A couple of them were like, "Man, you just accelerated the clock."
Oh man, you want to put anybody on alert right now?
Ooh.
No. I wouldn't make you do that.
No.
Okay, the last question I have then is actually for you, Coach Freeman. And I'll take this advice too, because I've been married for not as long as you. He's going to get married here soon. Yep. Do you have any marital advice for just anybody that's going to get married or has been married a short amount of time? What's worked for you?
Choose hard. That's a motto I live by. But that goes into your marriage, goes into being a parent, goes into your occupation, to choose hard. You often treat the people that are closest to you sometimes worse because you're so comfortable with them. And those are probably some of the things that, I try to remind myself and give you that advice. But man, time heals everything, It's the greatest thing, man.
And you talk in front of the team all the time about, the golden standard, and one of those is unit strength. And you always say, like, you have to choose to love on a daily basis.
Every day.
Like, you have to have the intention every single day to give that love and choose the love.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Not a feeling, I say all the time. I probably said this before, my wife doesn't love that.
Okay.
But it's not a feeling, it's a choice. You choose to love your spouse, right? You choose to love your players, the people you work with every single day.
It's good advice. I'm going to try to take that home with me. Take it with you going forward.
Absolutely.
Jack, thanks for coming by. Congratulations on the engagement. We're going to have you actually stick around, have Isaiah Dunn come in and talk with us. Coach, as always, we'll get you out of here. Thanks for coming by.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Isaiah, they keep letting you come back.
Man, I'm loving it. Can't wait.
All right. Glad you're back. Jack is still here. This is our Spinning Our Wheels segment presented by TireRack.com. It's Jack's first time. You're now an old pro.
I'm getting used to it. Let's do it.
We're going to have Jack spin the wheel and see what game we play today. Why don't you give it a spin? Got to give it a good one.
Well, I've been looking, and I think I just want to go right here.
Draft.
Draft.
Spin.
Let's go
Draft.
Yeah.
You've been eyeing that.
Yeah, I've been eyeing it.
You want to draft.
I knew this segment was coming. I've been prepping.
You've been tipped off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been volleying back and forth what we should do our draft. This is going to be a surprise to you. Jack already knows,
Right.
actually. We are going to draft Notre Dame things. It can be people, places, or things. Anything. This is the ultimate Notre Dame draft.
Okay.
Football, campus, could be anything. I'm just thinking about this now. We're going to go snake, okay? And we're going to go, it's to be an even number rounds. Let's go teams of 6. Okay.
Okay.
So Jack is you can pick where you want to go. You want to go first, second, or third in this snake?
I'll go second.
I'll go third.
I didn't give you a pick.
No, you can.
I'm going. I'll go first, just if that makes you happy. So I've got it written backwards, but okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I get the first pick of Notre Dame things.
Right.
Anything Notre Dame.
Okay.
Okay, this is easy for me. The Golden Dome.
Okay.
As it should be. Right?
I mean, come on. That's gonna be tough to beat. So I've got Golden Dome. Before you go, see that locker over there? Open that up. Look what we got in there for you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you to Tire Rack. Whiteboards for everyone. Okay. So keep track of your own team. I'm going to make sure I keep track of mine. But I've got Golden Dome. That's what we're starting. And I got to be honest, no matter what else is on my roster, it's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Let's do
Jack
it.
is up.
Okay. I'm going to go touchdown Jesus.
Oh, I believe you mean the Word of Life mural on the library. I got you. Touchdown Jesus. Okay. All right. Now, Isaiah, you're getting 2 picks here.
I get 2 picks.
Yeah, snake.
Oh, let's do it.
You're going to draft?
No, this is my first. It's my first time doing this. Okay, I'm gonna go. The leprechaun.
The leprechaun.
I want the leprechaun.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And the grotto. The grotto.
So you have our first person
Yep.
or animate object,
Correct.
and then really our first place to visit. We have the iconic imagery. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, good pick. I guess.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to follow up with touchdown Jesus and go what pairs with it, right? Notre Dame Stadium and all the moments that go with it.
That's a good one. Wow. You're kind of putting together a menu, I hear, too. What pairs with it? Nah, that's an amuse bouche.
It has to be, it's a cohesive unit, right?
Right. I can't wait to see what you do for your seafood dish. Gosh, now I'm kind of, I know what I'm going to do it at the 6th, actually. Notre Dame Stadium. Okay. I'm going to go with Newt Rockne. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Oh, it's Snake, too. Oh, boy. What if I just went Rockne and then Freeman? No, I'm not doing that. Too many coaches. Too many cooks in the kitchen for my...
Okay.
Yeah.
Newt Rockne. I am going to go with another person. And as I'm the only employee on this set, I'm going to go with Father Bob. That's a creative pick. That is a creative pick. But making sure I'm in good standing with the university as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Father Bob. So I've got Golden Dome, Rockne, and Father Bob. I don't see how you beat this, but go ahead.
I'm going to go with the golden helmet.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Now, I have Golden Dome.
But that's a helmet.
That's-
It's
Just making
it
sure.
counts.
Making sure. Okay. So who's your team right now?
I got touchdown Jesus, Notre Dame Stadium, the golden helmet.
I see a theme on his. He's
Right.
really staying in a specific lane.
Right. I think I'm behind right now. I need to up my ante.
Well, you get 2 in a row.
I'm going Lou Holtz. And then my 4th. Let me go. I'm gonna go Coach Freeman.
Coach Free.
Coach Free.
You went
Marcus.
Holtz and
I want
Freeman.
I want Freeman.
Wow. Good luck.
I'm for the people.
Wow.
Let's go.
Competing voices in your locker room.
All about
They're gonna gel together and coach each other. Okay.
we are.
They are close. Okay. So this is your 4th pick,
Yep.
Jack?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to probably go with the most iconic recent player in terms of this decade. I'm going to go Manti Te'o. I need a leader. I need a leader on the defense, a leader for the team, someone to rally the troops.
That's a good pick because you're hitting a lot of demographics there. Young guys know him. The older guard's familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Former guest on this show, too. That's
Mhm.
pretty good. I don't have any players. Yeah. What if I went with Jack Kiser?
That's a good pick. It's a great pick. You got a leader.
I'm going Jack Kiser.
Wow.
May end his career with
Wow.
the most games played in the history of Notre Dame football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's going to be taking advice from Newt Rockne.
Okay.
Just think about what that team could do.
Okay.
So I've got Jack
I don't
Kiser.
know if we can win anymore. I mean,
Fine, I got Kiser. Okay. Now I got to go again. My 5th. This is tough. I'm going to go a little off the board here, different sport. I'm going to go Audric Estimé.
Wow, that's a
You got the clutch factor.
Yeah, clutch gene now. Active.
Okay.
wow. Okay, so it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I need someone. I got the facilities, I got the helmet, I got the player. Now
Coming together.
I need someone to help organize all this, right? And who else helped put this university on the map than Father Ted Hesburgh?
All due respect to Father Bob.
Okay.
The resume, at least not yet. You know, Father Ted, he really laid it all down. It's
Right.
Wow.
So I get 2 picks now.
These are your final 2 picks.
Okay. I just want to emphasize, Coach Freeman can do both. He can play ball now.
You're right.
He's
you
a
have,
dog.
You have Marcus Freeman on this. You don't have Coach Freeman. You just have Marcus Freeman, who played in a national championship.
And he's a dog, so I have a player. I just want to make that clear.
No, a lot of linebackers.
I just want to make that clear.
Freeman, Freeman, Teo, Kiser, who wins in
What
the
a
cage
group.
match.
What a
That's
group.
And I'm adding
Oklahoma drill.
this for Wapu Nation. I'm adding Rudy.
That's going to be a controversial pick. See, I thought you were
at it.
maybe like Chris Fink from Wapu Nation. You went with Rudy.
I want Rudy.
Yeah.
Give me
I think
Rudy.
Fink might
Chris is my guy.
have rallied the base a little bit more, but okay.
I need the aura of Rudy. Rudy comes with.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And I get one more,
This
correct?
is your last one.
Okay, I have the Grotto, Leprechaun, Lou Holtz, Marcus Freeman, Rudy. I need someone to bring this all together too, Jack. I need an organizer.
Right?
I need an organizer. And who's better than Amir Carlisle? Give me
Our
Amir.
player development.
Give me Amir.
Also a former guest on this show.
I need Amir.
So you're going to get a thumbs up from me.
Right.
Yeah, former.
Underrated pick. I need Amir.
Always know it's good if you yourself immediately are saying underrated pick. A lot of confidence in your pick. Okay. Jack, finalize your, give me your dessert course, I guess. On your
Yeah. Shoot. I don't know how this really fits in there, but it's the monogram.
Okay.
Notre Dame monogram.
Tim O'Connor be happy.
Mm.
That's
Got to have that.
So
That's for the branding. There it is. That's the branding,
right.
piece of it.
It comes out at the end of the menu, kind of establishes everything.
Yeah, the interlocking ND.
Okay.
Right.
My last one, my 6th, is North Dining Hall. It's an obvious pick if you're a listener to this show or if you've been on campus. Yeah. South, not even coming close to making the
Hold on.
I was a South guy.
I'm a South guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why you're probably going to lose this draft. Okay. So they had North. We've covered this last year. I think actually South won. We tallied the votes and South won, but it's because we have a lot of misinformed people
South won.
joining on the show.
South clear. South won.
Really, it's
Got
just where are you on campus? That's really,
That's actually not.
Right,
what
that's what the South people want you to think. The North people know that
South
the
has
way it's
culture.
laid out, the architecture. Okay, let's go through our rosters real quick, and we're gonna have people maybe vote on this online. Who knows? Something creative. Why don't you go first, Isaiah? Lay yours out.
I have the Grotto, the Leprechaun, Lou Holtz, Marcus Freeman, Rudy, and Amir.
No comment. I think solid. team.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Guys,
Okay, go ahead.
I think this is the winning team right here. We have Touchdown Jesus, Notre Dame Stadium, the Golden Helmet, Manti Te'o, Father Hesburgh, and then the monogram interlocking ND.
I'm going to give you a lot of credit for the most diverse. You have people, places, a monogram that's really good. It's probably second place to this.
Yeah.
Golden Dome, Newt Rockne, Father Bob. Who do you want to trade? Can I trade you Bob for Hesburgh? I love Father Bob, but Hesburgh, the resume is there.
right.
Jack Kiser being on my team is a real wrinkle that we didn't see coming.
You got me there.
I got you there. Audric hoisting up threes in North Dining Hall.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. We'll let the people online decide, but that was a good draft. Our
was
first
fun.
ever Notre Dame draft.
Right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and come right back. All right, it's time for our Cooler Conversations segment presented by Yeti. Before we get into it, Isaiah, you want anything to drink, Jack? Are you good? Coke product, Dasani?
Water? You got one?
Yes, he does. You know me, water.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good catch.
Thinking about next week.
Next week. We'll hold it off.
All right, fire away.
Well, Jack, thank you for coming on.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you. So, Jack, I want to talk about you being a captain. Now, before I get into that, I can speak for myself and my other teammates. You were a captain long before you had the patch. That's just who you were. But can you go into the fact of what it's like being named a captain and voted by your peers in your final year at Notre Dame?
Yeah. super special, super honored by it. I know of all the guys I've ever written names down, right? You think about JD, you think about Ian Book. I voted for Chris Fink. Like, these guys, right, have a lot of weight to them. And I just remember what kind of leaders they were, and where I had them in the locker room in terms of what I saw from them and whatnot. And to know that I had a bunch of guys write my name down and kind of get that C on my chest, it means a lot. It's not something that changes how I lead or anything, right? I've always been trying to be a leader and be a guy that other people can look up to in the locker room, but to now have the C on the chest, it just it means a lot, and to know you have the respect from your teammates, it's a really cool thing.
No, absolutely.
When you said he was a captain before he had the C, what does that mean to you? Like, what were you seeing?
Jack is basically the parent of our locker room, right? In the greatest way possible. In the greatest way possible. He makes sure our locker room's clean. He holds us accountable. He will go into every other section, and if we have trash laying down, he's the one to own up to it. And guess what? The guys respect him. We listen to him. There's no talking back. It's like, Jack, let us know, we're going to get this done.
You need that, in a locker room. For sure.
He's that guy, and he's always been that guy since I've been here. So he's always been a leader, whether it's verbal or just showing by his actions, especially. Jack's been an incredible job with that.
Where does that come from, bro? That you want to be that guy that make sure everything tidy and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, one, it was always something I saw other people doing, right? When I got here, it's just kind of the standard.
Yeah.
I talked about Chris Fink and Book and Drew White and Kurt Heinisch and whoever it was. I remember there was, one night, it was like 9:30 at night, maybe 10 o'clock. And I walked through the locker room and Kurt Heinisch is in there vacuuming. And so it's just like, I always had, that's just what the standard is here at Notre Dame. But also, I think that's just kind of the way I was raised in terms of like, all right, there's no job too small. And like, I have to do it before anybody else in order for me to go tell someone to do it. Mm-hmm. So,
right. No, he's always been that way, and we definitely love that about him. Mm-hmm. But to also carry that, he does the little things right, but he also does these really big things off the field. And so you've been honored for the AFCA All-State Good Works program. And can you talk about what's your favorite community service thing you've done so far in your career? You've done so many. So,
yeah, been very fortunate to have a platform to be able to give back to the community, right? But we just finished up with the Cleats for Cause initiative that we just did. That's always really cool to partner with the charities and give back and kind of get to know who they are and what their story is. Fiffle, Fighting Irish Fight for Life. We just got our new teammate Ollie for this season, so we're excited about that. And then whether it's going to elementaries or going to the Ronald McDonald House on Fridays before home games, there's a lot going on. Right. But it's not just me; it's the team. Like, right. All the guys on the team are very active, and it's cool to be a part of and be part of a group like that. It really is.
Helps you keep perspective. I talked to Riley last week a little bit about that perspective. It's important to have that, right?
Yeah.
It's surrounded. And shout out Ollie. Great kid. Love him. Yeah. But I also want to go back and talk about how you come from a small town in Indiana. What would be your advice for kids playing any sports and to dream big, right?
Yeah.
But you've accomplished that at Notre Dame, the highest level of college football. Can you give any advice for those kids that are in small towns or people that are trying to get to where you are?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where, like, I kind of take it for granted that I'm here at this stage, right? Like, I'm sitting on this couch with you guys. It is.
You've arrived.
It's a big, like, it is a big deal though, coming from a small town. Like, you didn't really have a ton of people going out and doing crazy things. I'm very fortunate. I saw my dad was able to go to Purdue and be on scholarship there, and my sister did great things. My brother went to Illinois State and played football. Like, so I had those role models in my life. But in terms of like playing football at Notre Dame, like on the biggest stage, like that just wasn't something that happened in our town. And so to be able to do that and kind of show the youth football players now that like, hey, like you can make something of yourself, you can do something amazing, so cool. Like I hold that, very close to my heart that like I can be that for them. And it's cool when I get to go back and hang out with them and be around them. Like they don't treat me as like some like celebrity, right? They treat me as, someone they saw, play high school football and become this person, but they treat me as a friend and someone they know. So it's really cool.
It's going to all come full circle because we got to let them go to a captain's meeting.
Right.
So we would normally keep grilling you, but you got to go. Jack, thanks for coming by today, talking with Coach Free. talking with us and spinning the wheel. I'm going to let them vote. I think I still have the best team, but very good team assembly. Very proud of the menu you put together.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Loved having you on, Jack. Shout out to my underrated team. You know who to vote for.
Okay, we get to welcome back to the show a very special guest, Audric Estimé. You're following last week's guest, JD Bertrand, who was our first ever guest to come on the show in person a year ago and then return once they're in the NFL online. Here you are, making history. You're the second guest. It's great to see you. How are things going in Denver, man?
Thank you. It's great to see you as well, and things are going really well. Happy to be on again.
So what's been the biggest adjustment for you? Obviously, South Bend and Denver, very different cities, but just making that transition last year, going through the draft over the course of the last year, like what's the biggest thing you've had to adjust to going to the pros?
I'd say probably the biggest thing is just accepting that this is like my job now. Like, it is always fun as a game. It's always still fun to do it, but realizing this is how I make my living. This is how I pay my rent now. So it's a little different from college, but something I always wanted, and I'm happy about it.
So what does that look like? Is it just there's more time you have to maybe, whether it be look at film, are you in the weight room more? Like where's the time being spent now that it's all football all the time?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more free time, but they expect you to still do football in your free time. You always got to watch film. You got to take care of your body, make sure that's running well, because if you can't take care of your body, you're not able to play football. And like I said, playing football is my job now. So my free times are a little more different. I definitely watching a lot more football. I'm definitely watching guys like if I'm playing on Sunday, I'm watching Monday Night Football. I'm watching Thursday Night Football, teams that I'm playing in the upcoming weeks. So it's just my free times is filled with just football nowadays.
I want to ask you about the game yesterday. We're recording this on Monday. You guys played the Chargers. So Joe Alt was on the other side. Yeah. I know you like your offensive line now in Denver, I'm sure, but do you miss running behind Joe Alt? And what was it like seeing him yesterday?
Of course, I miss running behind Joe Alt, but it was great seeing him. I chatted up with him after the game, and it was so funny. Like, I always watch my defense playing, and I'm seeing Joe in the huddle, and I'm like, bro, Joe was the biggest on my team last year, and he's still the biggest on this team as a rookie in the NFL. So I think that's just so crazy. But just to play against guys like him and like Cam Art and be able to chat it up with him after the game, it just feels amazing. Just our dreams coming true.
I was going to ask you about Cam too. What was it like to see him and catch up with him? Because I know everyone here is excited to see him get out there as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. He looked good. I actually got to get I think he actually tackled me in the game. So having him make a tackle, make a play on him, I was kind of downfield though. But and able to talk to him after the game was just crazy, because he was there for my all 3 years of college, and just seeing his development and just being able to play at the highest level with him was definitely felt amazing.
So going through the week, I want to go back to Joe just for a second. Like, are you telling your guys on defense, you're telling, hey, I know Joe, like you're looking at him on film, but let me tell you what he's really all about. Like, are you warning him about how good Joe is, or what's the conversation?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even have to warn them. They all know about Joe already. Everyone knew who he was, what he brings to the table. So I didn't even have to do any of that. They're already and they knew what he brought.
Okay, I know it's been fun in Denver. You're being a pro, but I talked to JD about this last week, and every Notre Dame guy, I think, feels this a little bit. Their first year away from South Bend, not being a part of the team, not being able to run out of the tunnel in South Bend. What's it been like not being at Notre Dame this first year? Is there something in particular that you missed the most, not getting a chance to wear the gold helmet this year?
I'd say I miss everything. Just the culture and the program is just an amazing program. It's like no other. Talking to other guys on my team from the programs they come from, I just know Notre Dame's a different, special place. But it's definitely a little different just watching them on Saturdays, and just I felt like I was there yesterday watching the guys like JD and Jeremiah do their thing, and just amazing. But it feels like it was just like yesterday. But I'm just taking it in, and I'm on the outside looking in there.
You mentioned the two running backs. Let's talk about the running back room, because you were here last year. It's been really fun. I mean, every year, obviously, we hate to see you go, but it does create opportunities for other guys to step up. So between Jay Love and Jadarian, when you see them now on Saturdays getting the reps they're getting and doing what they're doing with those reps, how excited does that make you? And what kind of communication do you guys have throughout the year?
Yeah, I just love seeing it. And it's just like, it's like no surprise to me, because like I've been with them the past couple of years, and I know what they have, and I know their abilities. So I just knew they're going to make something happen when they got the opportunity. But it's just amazing just to see the development from their freshman year to now their sophomore year. And I'm just excited to see what they bring and do in the future. And I'm going to be watching.
Now, are you still in close communication with Coach McCullough throughout a week-to-week basis? Because I get the sense like he's the kind of guy that's going to be, hitting your line pretty much every week to get ready for each game. Is that true?
Of course. He's always texts me, how you doing, how you feeling, how things going. And I text him too, like, the backs look good after this game. And yeah, Coach Dillon's the type of guy who you're going to stay in communication with forever.
Now, you mentioned Notre Dame being a place that you missed throughout the season. Is there a certain guy you're in touch with still on the team that you stay in constant communication with kind of as the season goes along that you still remain really close with?
Yeah, I say I still remain close with my roommate, Blake. Just growing up with him in college. He was my roommate for 2 out of my 3 years, and we came out together, got drafted together. That's someone I'm also going to stay in communication with forever. But he got his first start, I think, last game, and he did really well, so I'm just happy for him.
I talked to JD last week, and I think it's Notre Dame going into this season had the 4th most professional football players in the NFL. Like, does it feel like every week you're seeing a Notre Dame guy, and is the bond still there? Even if it's someone you didn't play with, do you happen to come across them?
Yeah, so it's every week for film. I'm watching someone on that defensive side, and it's like, oh, Notre Dame guy, or no, another Notre Dame guy. It's just a testament of the culture and the standard we have at Notre Dame, and the guys that we produce, and all those guys are playing on a very elite level, on the highest level. So it's just amazing.
When they pop up on film, are you like puffing your chest out a little bit and saying, "Hey, that's a Notre Dame guy right there. Don't forget."
Yeah, it's funny when they make a good play. I'm just like, that's just what the Notre Dame guys do. And like, if I make someone miss, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was Notre Dame on Notre Dame crime.
When you find yourself watching the game, I know you obviously study the backs, but do you find yourself reacting like a fan now? Like, are you living and dying with every play? What's it like when you're watching a Notre Dame game these days?
Yeah, I feel it's kind of a mixture of a fan and a coach. Like, okay, I'm a fan. Like, if they do something, I'm jumping up, screaming. My neighbors are probably like, "Who the hell? Why is this guy going? He's going crazy." But at the same time, it's like I'm watching and I'm kind of critiquing them at the same time. Like, yeah, that was a good run, or they could do that a little better at the same time, as they would do with me too. Yeah.
So I'm seeing in the background there, you've got the LeBron poster behind you. I think, yep, King James. Okay. So we talked, I think, last year, MJ versus LeBron, and you were LeBron, right?
Yeah, easy.
And so I'm going to assume a year's gone by, another gold medal. You think it's even more clearly LeBron over MJ, right?
Yeah, easy. I think it's so top right now, and it's submitted.
So Coach Freeman, as you know, he has a lot of respect for LeBron, but he's an MJ generation guy. We had Riley Leonard on the show last week. He said, I think he has come around on MJ, but he's been also getting pushed a little bit towards LeBron because he's been seeing these videos out there about how MJ couldn't go left. Have you seen these videos?
No, that can't be true.
Okay, good. I'm glad you haven't been propagandized because there are videos out there that suggest MJ can't go left, and you will at least concede. He could go left, he could go right. You just think LeBron is better.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you.
Better resume. He has a better and more powerful influence on the game and to the youth growing up. I just think he's the GOAT. People might think different, but he's my GOAT.
Fair enough. Your opinion is welcome on this show. We are open to it.
I appreciate it.
Last one I have for you is just about the rest of the season for you guys out in Denver. What are you hoping to accomplish, not just as a team, but for you personally? Where do you want to grow the rest of this year? It's great to see you on the field yesterday. Just what are kind of your goals going forward this year?
Yeah, my goal is honestly just to improve every week. I honestly live by you never get better, you never get worse, or you never stay the same. You only get better, or you only get worse. So I'm trying to improve every week, and obviously our goal is to win every week, go 1-0 every week, and make the playoffs. And that's going to be built throughout the week. So we just got to keep on going and building on top of our wins.
Audric, it is great to see you virtually, even though you're not on the couch. Great to see you again. Everybody here in South Bend is rooting for you. Great to see you on the field. Keep up the great work. And if you're ever back in South Bend for a game, whether it's on a bye or something like that, make sure you come by. We'll get you back on the couch.
Of course. I love it.
All right. Be well.
Thank you for having me.
That does it for this week's episode of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Thanks to everybody that joined the show, Marcus Freeman, Jack Kiser, and of course, Audric Estimé. Again, we really want you to get in the comments and vote on that draft. That Notre Dame draft, one of the all-time great moments in Wake Up the Echoes history. I think we know that I probably had the best team, but again, as always, we're open to feedback. I'll listen to it, and we can decide who actually won based on who gets the most votes in the comments. Also, make sure to let your voice be heard about what costume you want me to wear on the Halloween edition of this show. Until next week, this is Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.